Hey, good morning, folks. Good morning. I'm just going to get my glasses here. Yes, this is Spirit Journey. Yeah, sorry, my hand was in the way. It was pointing the wrong directions. I had to fix it real quick. Yeah, I was just having some problems with the screen already. Didn't even start, really. Yes, good morning. Just put on my glasses, make sure everything's on. Yes, this is my monitor that's on right now. It's going to be playing as we talk, so you have something to look at. Yeah, that's outside. It's hard to see the lights out there, so I want you to see something. Yes, good morning, good morning. Good morning. How are you guys doing? Hey, Camp, yeah. Hey, my sister. Funny, funny. Yeah. Yeah, I've been up now for about an hour. Yeah, I go to bed early, fall asleep, and yes, I had my computer on, like you see here. And this is just going to be playing in the background, so you have something to look at. Um, yeah, I'm still a bit in bed. Today is November 25, 2020, and the time is about 3:45 a.m. Yeah, I've been up for about an hour. Had a very bizarre dream, but yeah, what I want to talk about. Um, it's sensitive the conversation. It's a sensitive topic for me, and I actually was going to talk about it yesterday. Uh, how to begin now? Oops, what happened there? Look at that. The screen went. Look at that. So the screen went act stupid now. Sorry about that. What's going on? Cancel. Let's get out there. What's that? What's going on here? Oh, do you want to close all tabs? No. See that? Look at that. That is so weird. What happened? Close all. Okay. Sorry about that. You see that? Sorry about that. Let me put in the beginning. Okay. My apologies for that, people. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, let me try to keep my hands still. Yes, I hope you all can hear me there. Apologize for that interference. And you notice with my videos, even though it's early in the morning, somehow interference seems to begin when I'm going to talk about something deep. Yeah, I was going to kind of talk about the subject. Um, it is like are we still family? I think that the title of this is, are we still family or are we enemies? And I live in New York City, and how, you ever feel like people are, you know, you're being profiled? Somehow what's being done is being done sneaky. I'm a native New Yorker, born, raised, uh, a veteran here, got recruited here, right in the heart of the city, actually right in Times Square, the recruiting center there. I did my testing and all that there. You do the paperwork, that right there in Times Square. So I feel very rooted here, and this is my home. And I don't like to feel that I'm being perceived as a bad person. We got tons of bad people, but just look at what's on this monitor, you see. This is on this is our former mayor. His name is Giuliani. He's a lawyer, but he was the mayor of New York City going back in the day in the 1990s. And it's on the voting thing, this thing here. Yeah, very interesting. In fact, let me get the name of that here. Let's see if I can zoom in. Yeah, because this gives a lot of information. So it said, boy, I can't even read it with these glasses on. Okay, it says lawyers for President Donald Trump's campaign hold press conference. Okay, it started. Ouch! I'm getting cramp on my leg. November 19th. Okay, okay, it's very interesting. Okay, sorry about that. I could close it now. Yeah, Camp, your messages, your two messages were retracted. Okay, so I don't know what happened there. I did not retract it or delete anything. So let me know if you had put something up but you deleted it or what. I want to understand why that happened. It's not the first time something like that happened, but I just want to understand what's going on. Okay, so you have, isn't it something? Now, this screen is on, what you're seeing, and this this conference, or what do you call it? Conference is really about. I was retracted them. Okay, you mean that you retracted it, or someone else retracted it? Just want to make sure I didn't understand what that meant. Thank you, though, Camp. So either way, yeah, we to keep everything clean because YouTube does screen and things happen. Things are happening these days, and just like what you see, I retracted them. No, okay, okay. Just want to make sure that 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 it was generated by you. Okay, yeah, no problem, no problem. Okay, so just like what you see on this screen here, and it's just so happened this is on. Because I fell asleep and then this, when I woke up, this is still on, okay? Um, this is about integrity and honesty, or the lack of it. Things were done in the election that's very questionable, and that's what actually this, well, let me make it smaller, because it keeps jumping around. Okay, and I hope you guys can hear me clearly. I have the mic right next to my face. Uh, People are, that's my little doggy in the background. I'm sorry. Yes, dogs do snore. So my little feelings are hurt. That's all. In a nutshell, my little feelings are hurt, and maybe a little bit of ego. But it's not the first time, and things are what they are. I've always been what I am. Uh, and it's just really something here as a grown woman. You feel like, why am I being looked so closely? Why am I being looked so closely? I'm a very straightforward person, and because time, my time is precious, and your time is precious also. And don't waste people's time, and don't waste my time. Uh, when I talk about the word family, are we still family? I'm talking about the black family as a collective. And I came back to New York City in 2001. Again, I'm born and raised here, but I briefly left the state of New York and I lived in Hawaii. Uh, I lived in Hawaii a little less than 3 years. And then I decided to come back to New York. I was fed up with Hawaii. I said, I miss not being with black people. I miss you, black people. I miss our community, our world. So I came back from the great Aloha State. I came back to New York and I wanted to be with my own. I missed you guys. Um, so either way, I've been back to New York since 2001, the summer of 2001, just before 9/11. Yeah. So I live in the heart of the city right now. And certain things are going on. And what I was going to talk about yesterday was like, are we, you know, are you still my friend? Are you, when I say you, I don't mean my viewers. I mean the collective black community, that just because someone's black doesn't make them your friend. It doesn't mean that they're there to be your friend. It was a wake up call yesterday for me, uh, based on, a cumulative events that I saw in the media, like the lady, what's her name? Waters, something Waters from California. She's, I think, a senator. And she is a black woman. And I realized certain information that was discussed on YouTube, the conferences, um, the news that discuss certain people, this election that just was, you have key black people. I hope I can remember everything and put everything in a nice package. You have people, see, I used to think that blacks in America were all victims. And I guess I was feeling like a victim also. But I started to notice things going on. And I came to the conclusion that we are not victims. That you have a selected few in our community. They may live next to you or with you. They have maybe black sounding names. They may talk Ebonics, but they do not represent you and they do not have your interest at hand. This election thing that this man is talking about, you have those polling stations. And in the polling station, who do you have in there? A whole ton of black people. Can we only make a small percentage? What was that? 13% of the whole population of this country. When you go in those polling stations, at least the states that they showed, overwhelmingly black people. Could be maybe 80%. And they had access to the ballots. And they count the ballots. Now, I went to vote. Yeah, I did the early voting. And lo and behold, there are a lot of black people in working there. The person that I had, because she had to go up to a window, information desk, give your name, and in the computer, they had like a notepad computer, and you see your name, and you have to electronically sign your name, and they give you a ballot to vote. And it was a black woman. And there were other black people in there. I thought, wasn't that nice? But I waited on that line for 4 hours, and there were no black people on the line to vote. I went on a Saturday, 2 weeks before election time, and no black people. Overwhelmingly white. They may have had, like I remember an East Asian looking person did approach me to ask me a question, and that was it. So I was wondering, where am I, or where's everybody else? on this line. It was the line wrapped around the entire block. There were two lines that ran opposite each other, one on the east, one on the west, and then it wrapped around the block and then came into the entryway. It took 4 hours. Uh, and so waiting for the 4 hours. The only black people that I saw there were the beggars on the street. A lot of black beggars in Manhattan where I was to do the early voting. And they looked spooky. But somehow the blacks were able to, have a job, work in the polling stations there. So the contrast between us are different. So I'm the only one on the line, and then you have the people who work inside the poll stations, and it everything happened very, very quickly. Within 5 minutes, you were out. One thing that was interesting was that I didn't have to supply any ID. I could have said I was anybody at any time there. And I just, they just showed me the screen and I just said, yeah, I could have said that. Joe Schmo. Yeah, I'm that person. Yeah, I live there. Okay, sign your name. That's it. Boom. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, people. Look at that. Sorry. You saw what just happened? The screen went black again. Why did that happen? Sorry about that, folks. Let me know if you can still hear me. Yeah, put a one for, type a one for yes if you can hear me still. Yeah, the screen went black again. See that? Yeah, apologize, people. Yes, I'm still on. I am still on. Okay, great, Cam. Thank you. I know I can always rely on you to let me know what I need to know. I appreciate you. Thank you. So, I could have said I was anybody, anyone. I could have gotten the name from, let's say, the white page, the telephone book, and get anybody who lives in a particular region and vote. Say I was that person, no ID, nothing, no signature check, nothing. So I noticed it right away when I wasn't asked to present ID. But I just went with the process. I went with the flow. Now that's a lot of power. And so you have people historically who were not allowed to vote, who were harassed when they went to vote. Historically, I'm referring to black people. And now we're in a position of power to actually work inside the poll station to ensure the right to vote. That integrity. See, we black people in the Americas, the early people, the people from 100 plus years ago who sacrificed their time and some of their lives to protect your rights, their rights. It was a badge of honor to vote. Like that's what they tell you. Oh, you better vote black people because our ancestors, we were killed when we tried to vote and blah, 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 blah. Wasn't about integrity. Are we losing our sense of integrity? And are we shaming our ancestors to maybe lie or know something's going on and you don't defend that right that your ancestors did for integrity? We were about integrity. We were a conservative people. We didn't have freakiness in our community. We were wholesome people. We were hardworking people. We respected each other. Men and women respected each other. We dress, even though we were poor, we dressed to the T. I have a picture of my grandparents, my grandfathers, and they were poor people from the West Indies, and they were dressed in really nice suits. Yeah, especially my grandfather on my father's side, he wore a sharp suit, man. Yeah, poor. He was a worker. He worked. And my other grandfather, he wore a suit. You wore a suit and tie and a hat. Yeah, yeah. They dressed like business people, but these were poor people. We were about integrity. We wanted to be considered professional and honorable people. And but somehow all that communication and all that teaching that they gave us went out the window, and it seemed to go out the window um, by the time in the late 70s, 1970s. We just went. We had a meltdown. You had people who stood for us, who worked and who lived and worked in our communities, who were black, and they risked their lives. They've implemented programs like the school lunch programs for all children. If you couldn't afford lunch, you get free lunch. So you have white people, black people, yellow people, red people, all have access to food when they go to school. Okay, these were some of the wonderful things that black people initiated in America. Okay, we were about integrity. We didn't have to have a lot of money. We didn't have to have bling bling on to feel important, because the way we conducted ourselves with integrity was what was important and should still be. So now we had an election a couple of weeks ago, and somehow in the heart of New York City, I'm the only one on the line, only obvious looking black to vote. And the only blacks I saw outside were beggars. And then when I go inside the polling station, I see black people working in there, not really doing their job to really ensure the integrity, because I wasn't asked for ID, you know. And they know in New York City, which is overwhelmingly Democrat, and it seems like the Democrat dominated states seem to be laxing in ensuring a clean election, because it's understood, hey, vote twice if you can. And I had a school teacher, a college professor, I meant to say college professor, that would joke about, hey, go and vote twice. I remember him saying that. That was around 2010. And I thought that was weird. Um, I didn't understand what that meant. I wasn't in politics in those. I didn't understand politics. I, 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 um, I stayed away from news about stuff like that. It didn't interest me, voting and all that. I mean, I go to vote, but I'm not into, studying the people. I wasn't into that. I started to become more interested in 2016 when Trump was running for office. Um, so things are going on in these Democratic states. I'm saying this because I'm noticing something. You vote for how you want to vote for. You belong to any political party could be corrupt or become corrupt. But I'm just letting you know my perspective. So what happened now? So the election came and went, and the screen that I was just showing you is not a a discussion about some of the uh, irregularities with the polling stations. People weren't allowed to observe that they were comparing the signature with the mail-in paper ballot and other things. Trucks coming in 3 o'clock in the morning, and people thought it was food being delivered, and then finally it's not food being delivered but ballots, and all those ballots for one person. See, it could have been anything in there. It could have been all ballots for Trump. It could have been anybody, anything. Integrity is still integrity. You want, because see, regardless of what political party you belong to, you want to ensure your vote, your legal vote, that no one's trying to mess with your candidate. It's about mutual respect, regardless what party you belong to. I do not belong to any political party. I've never signed up for any political party. Okay? For me, they're all the same, in my opinion. But again, you have the freedom to belong to any party, any political party, vote or not vote. But the thing is, those people who want to vote, the integrity of the integrity of the process is what's important, and that's not being adhered to. So, despite the fact that you had, at least where I lived, where I went to vote, even though you had black people working in there, the integrity of it could have been compromised. And I gather she didn't care who um, voted. It was Democratic state, domain, and so it's assumed people are going to vote Democrat. So that was my problem. And so then I noticed it started coming to my mind about other black politicians that are out there. And they're black people with political power in this country. You have black people here in New York City. Um, our mayor is married to a black American woman. And so that is very powerful. You have a mayor of New York City. New York City is one of the largest cities in the country, extremely diversified. Everything is in New York City. And you have a black woman, black first lady of the mayor of New York City, and she is not speaking out upon the disparities that happen to black people in New York City, the increasing homelessness, um, the school system. I said, what's going on? Remember in the Bible I'm okay. I used to read the Bible, and I've said many times I used to be a Christian, and I had a paradigm shift. So I don't follow religion anymore. I don't follow Christianity, but I do believe, love thy neighbor as you love yourself. Those principles I believe in. I don't believe in religion, but I believe in what's in your heart and to love humanity. So there was a story in the Bible. I think it was Esther. I think her name was Esther. And you could correct me if I'm wrong, but she became queen. She was a Jewish woman, young Jewish woman, and she was in exile. And exile really means slavery. She was human trafficked, and she was part of a harem. And there was a beauty contest, She won the beauty contest, and she then became the married person, the king of Persia. That's Iran, modern day Iran. She became the queen, and she never forgot her roots. She never forgot who she was. Yes, she really had no real choice about marriage or not, but she's married to that guy. She's a Jewish girl married to the king of Persia. He was, I think, um, in charge of the whole region. It was a kingdom he had. And so she could have just stayed quiet, or she could have spoke out. And she decided to speak out because even though she's married, uh, she heard about her Jewish community going to be exterminated. She spoke out. Now she could have just said, "Well, I'm not going to consider myself Jewish anymore and just become a Persian and adopt a new culture, a new life, whatever." But she didn't. So I feel that's what's happening here, like in New York City. So here she is a black woman married to an Italian man, and Italians have a very big stronghold on New York City. There's a lot of mafia here in New York City. And you have the Jewish mafia too. Okay, those two groups run New York City, Jews and Italians, at least in government. And blacks are in the background. And it seems like the blacks are being used as just like a security guard dog, you know? That's how I see us as in New York, how we perform. We perform like a dog. Just whatever master says, you just do, and you, like a security dog, attack anyone who master says to attack, or protect who when you're told to protect. And so I think about the mayor's wife being a black woman in a city where, I call it the chocolate city. New York City is overwhelmingly people of color. Milk chocolate, caramel, butter toffee. I mean, all the flavors are good. But somehow she just sits in her castle and watching her people suffer. And if those of you who've seen on the internet a couple of weeks ago, the mayor's daughter, the mayor's black daughter, light-skinned black daughter, look, I'm not going to say what she looked like. Just type in Mayor, what's his name? I forget his name. De Blasio, Mayor de Blasio's daughter. Mayor de Blasio's daughter mugshot. And you look for yourself and you come to your own conclusions what you think she looks like. So there's something wrong in that family, in my opinion. But I wish the girl well, though, because it's a tragedy. So black people aren't even protected of their sanity, even though your father's a powerful Italian American mayor of a major city. And the mother is, what's she doing? So she can't protect her daughter. He cannot protect his daughter. And they're not protecting the community here in New York City. She never once spoke out, I heard. Never heard her speak on the plight of black New Yorkers. The homeless people you see on the street that overwhelmingly are black. At least the story of the Bible, Esther, I think her name is Esther. Please correct me if I'm wrong, the name. Either way, you know the story. She at least spoke out to protect her people, but not the modern day black people. The modern day black people just sit on their behind, taking up space. They're not there. They're not there to protect you. That woman, Waters, her last name is Waters, from California. What is she doing? She works in a major city also. And there are black people on the West Coast in California. There's a lot of homelessness, man, there in California. What is she doing? She's wealthy. So you have a lot of black politicians, blacks, what do you call it, religious figures, reverends and all that, who's been around for years, over 40 plus years. And they've done nothing, really. Well, there was Jesse Jackson. Now, Jesse Jackson did run for president twice in the 1980s, but but nothing. Nothing. What are these guys doing? See, now it seems like the black face is just a place for passivity, that you just have it there for like an ornament, like decoration, so you can say that we're inclusive because we got a black face here, but you have no power. You just come up to work and then you leave and you do absolutely nothing. So I was going to talk about what I'm talking about now is what I was going to talk about yesterday. I said, are they really representing me? Are they here to represent me? Are they here to protect me? And here I came back to New York City because I used to live in Hawaii. People in Hawaii do not like black people. It's overwhelmingly a colored city, colored state. Most of the people there are people of color. The black people in Hawaii make up maybe 1% of the population there. And some of the things that were told to me, because I was black, I experienced more love from the white people here in New York in comparison to the people of color in the state of Hawaii. It was a very racist state against me. Couldn't believe some of the things that happened to me there. And that was part of the reason why I decided, let me leave that state. Let me leave there. It's a beautiful looking country. I love the natural environment. But and I did meet some really nice people. But it's a racist state. They like your money though. They like hip hop music and they love reggae, but they don't want black people there. They want your music, but they don't want you. They don't mind you spending money on them, but they do mind if you make money there. That's what I learned there from my experience. So I was very eager to come back to New York, and being back in New York since 2001, and it's just continually going downward. Some of the blacks men that I met here, and again, this is just my experience I'm talking about. I love us, and you should know by now my heart for you guys, and my desire is to protect and to inform as a means to protect you through the information and the encouragement that I want to give. So I love you guys from my heart. But I'm wondering whether do you all love me? You know, I know that my viewers here care about me very much. So I'm not talking about you guys, not my viewers, but I'm talking about the collective. Do you guys really love me? Do you love yourself? So you have black people in power, in government. You have black people on the news. And they're covering up. They're covering up things. Some of them are exciting hatred. You know, like they were the what do you call it, the riot? What do you call it? They call it protesting. And you have the same type of black woman. You have they're using the young black women like they look about in their 30s. And I'm waiting for them to say something of substance. There is no substance. It's just hype, hype, hype. Never a plan of action about this what's happening in New York City and how to improve, remove the violence, that stop the what do you call it, abuse. You know, there's families that the women and children are being abused, hunger, unemployment. We have an environment where illegal aliens have more rights than you do. And that was another thing I experienced in Hawaii. That the illegal aliens in the state of Hawaii is so rampant. And they push you out of your job. Yeah, that happened to me once. Pushed out of a job and let these questionable people from Mexico. Yeah, in Hawaii, there are more illegals in Hawaii than there are black people, black American people. And that was another surprising thing. And they have precedence over you to get a job. And I thought that was a slap in the face, being a veteran. So the same type of thing happens in New York. But, black New Yorkers and these women that you see at the rallies and all that, the protests, they're inclusive. And they're including all so-called minority people. And they think all these minority people are their friends. They're being allowed in New York City and they're pushing you out your job. And they see this. If they don't see it, they're foolish. I see it. Supermarkets, where they dominate. Retail. Very few black people working in these places. And they don't live in the area. So how is that, when Obama was voting, when Obama was, running for office, then I saw all these black people online to vote. And I was wondering, where did these black people come from? Because I lived in the area for a while and hardly any black people I saw. And then now we have the hotels. And that's where a lot of the black people live now. There are 2 hotels near where I live where they house black people. These are former inmates, former drug abusers, things like that. And so what about these people? They're not, they live in the area, but you don't see them in the businesses working there. They just stand in the warm weather. They just stand in front of the door by those hotels or on the corner where those hotels are and just stand there all day. But you have all these immigrants and illegals working in everyday jobs that historically we used to work at. Yeah, we were allowed to work as a cashier or cooking your food, right? But not anymore. Not anymore. And it bothers me. And no, this is not an anti immigration speech either. My grandparents were immigrants. They assimilated, they raised their kids in American institutions, and we are Americanized. So, what am I getting at? That what I'm getting at is that things are being done um, in broad daylight, but the people that's supposed to be representing you are turning a blind eye. Why are they turning a blind eye? Because, see, this is what I'm realizing, that the people in office, the black people in office, and even the white ones too, are not representing true Americans, American citizens, or people who are, who are lawfully here to live here. They are not being represented. They are being exploited by, not, their rights aren't being protected. We pay the taxes. We pay the taxes, not these illegals. These illegals, they're taking the money and then they're sending it back home to their country. They have low opinions of America. And they may even marry Americans so that they don't have to go back home, but they really don't like Americans. And when I say that, I'm thinking about an individual that I know, that they were from another country, they're married to someone that I know, and they don't like Americans. And they keep saying, oh, it's my family, my family. It's all about my family. Oh, yeah, you love your family, but also love who's paying you. See that? And so, did you know that with the voting, that your votes were tabulated in Germany, and then the information held at another foreign location? Did you know that Cuba, Germany, and Venezuela manipulated or influenced the votes, what was tabulated? That they run the machines. I said, what? What do you got to be out of your mind. What do you mean? Cuba, Venezuela, and Germany? I thought everything's supposed to be America. Why would you have a foreign country dictate and manage your voting? This is a big ass country. You don't have people who could make it or monitor it here in the country, but it was tabulated. They were saying that the computers that registered the votes were able to be monitored at a remote site, so they're able to see who is winning. And then when it was going to crash, because they had these algorithms when it got to a certain point to kick in, how they wanted to for it in their favor. And so then it just surpassed it, so they had to stop the counting. And then they implemented votes around 3 a.m. in the morning. You're going to have a foreign country like Germany, a former Nazi country, or Cuba and Venezuela that are communist or communist bent, to dictate your democracy voting, your constitutional republic? You need these people to do it for you. There's something going on, folks. So I started thinking, You have all that going on, usurping honest black people's votes, honest white people's votes, honest Hispanic people's votes, honest Asian people's votes, Republican, Democrat, conservative, whatever, liberal, libertarian. All of us have been compromised. I said, oh my God. So it's not about protecting me and my interests, being from New York City, and the people I thought supposed to represent me or protect me, my interests. Maxine Waters and the other political people. We see things going on in broad daylight. We see people coming in from other countries. We're allowing, you know why I see now what's going on. Why places like New York City or even California and Texas, why they let in so many illegals? Because you can then buy their vote. They come in, and let's say that a big influx comes in during election year. You get them in. You can bust them also. You can bust them anywhere to vote. Again, no ID required. No ID. You just say, I'm so and so. You just go in there and vote. So it's not about loving, okay, people, you got to hear this. It's not about loving illegals or Hispanics. They really love Hispanics. They really love them, or they love what they can do to them. Give them below wage. Okay, that's not love. So you give them below wage, and then you utilize them for votes. So when it's an election year, you bus them to different cities where you have Hispanic people, or even black cities. Just go in there and vote. No ID required. None. I went to vote, and I didn't have to present anything. I could have said I was anybody. It's an assumption when you're a person of a certain color, certain race, in general, how we vote. Well, I vote for how I feel like voting for. And so that's why I wasn't questioned. Because they're going to assume I'm going to vote a certain way because I'm a New Yorker and I look the way that I look. So I realized this is like a takeover. Yeah, so you know what else? There's these little white trucks. It comes in from Jersey. Jersey, New Jersey is another infamous state. You got a whole bunch of people from New Jersey, foreign workers from New Jersey, that live now in New Jersey. They come into Manhattan and they work in these industries, and they pay well. They work in the hotel, restaurants. You get some good ass money in there, man. Yeah. See, I used to work in that industry also. So that's also how I know. I see who works in that because I used to work in there. But I didn't realize how prolific. I had to visit. So I went to visit someone that lives out of state, and I took a bus. And all these people from other countries. Now again, nothing wrong being from another place. There was no English being spoken. I said, wow. And they all being bused in. They've been bust them into New York City to work the jobs that black Americans could no longer work in. How come the mayor of New York City isn't calling out on it? She's a black woman. Why is she allowing all this riffraff to come into New York City, take the jobs that, entry level jobs that blacks who maybe just came out of jail or something could maybe work in. They're not there. They're not doing anything. They're allowing them to come in and bus it. Oh, also, I was going to say Jersey. There's a white truck, and they were filled with people from across the border. I think they were from Colombia, the country Colombia, and they take and then bring it into brought them into this retail store, and they don't even have to speak English to get a job there. I said, oh my God. Yeah, it was a bad incident that happened to me in that particular store. I used to work in retail there. Yeah, these people have more rights than you. They have more rights. They could fight people. They're aggressive, some of these ladies from these foreign countries. Yeah, aggressive, meaning they fist fight. Yeah, there were fist fights on this job. Yeah, it was a retail. I'm not going to say the name of the company, but they say, yeah, we came out. The truck comes in from Jersey, it's a white truck, and they bust us in. That was right after 9/11 thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, they bring a truckload of illegals in New York City. And here we have a black woman married to a white mayor and not protecting her constituents. So I started thinking, what the hell is going on here? Well, yeah, the screen is black. Yeah, it froze again. Yeah, some new people are coming on the screen, the live stream, and yeah, so it's not your imagination. They froze my screen again. So yeah, but this is really problematic. So all these people, oh, and again, they're being brought in here. These people from across the border, across the ocean, because they predict how these people will vote. You can bus them anywhere throughout the country to promote policy through who you vote for. And again, no ID required. There also, I gave an early video a couple of years ago about this new ID they want to implement in New York City. It's an ID, it looks like a driver's license, and it allows them to go into like the museums and other, what they could say, cultural endeavors. So that, because the reason was, oh, well, immigrants should, to socialize them for things, in the city, No, it's not for them to be socialized for American activities, cultural activities. It's given so that they can use it as a false ID so that they could vote or try to get um, permission to vote. Yeah. Once you get one ID, a local ID, then you can get another ID and another, and then build up enough false IDs so you can apply for, hey, the right to vote. Yeah. So they're not doing this because they love minorities, Hispanics, and Asian. No. They're being bussed in illegally to overthrow, so, to change policy, and to have them vote for certain things, and to also prevent the black community from voting, for the black community to have real economic and political power. They don't want black people in New York to have political power, real, true political power. So now you have people marrying black people as a cover. to win votes in New York. And that's all what that was about. And you will be having others. I did talk about this other person that will be coming out soon. She's in New York. I mean, is she from, no, she's from Connecticut. A black woman from Connecticut, and she just got married last year, and she's expecting a baby anytime now. She seems like a nice person, but then some things I've been finding out is problematic for me. But a quick alliance was made. She married someone. She only knew him for 2 weeks. Never went on a date with him. He proposed after 2 weeks of meeting each other, and they are now married. They married that same year, a couple of months later. And they're looking for a place to live in D.C. because she's going to be running for office. And she married an extremely wealthy, very influential, or I shouldn't, someone with money, or at least comes from money and prestige from Europe. They're going to use that money and influence for her to run for office. That's what that's all about. See, it doesn't make it right whether they're from the left or to the right. It's them trying to make you look foolish by pretending to represent you, but they're not. And so I feel hurt. And so, what I was going to say, I know I'm on here long. So what's going on now? Now, an incident happened to me yesterday. And coincidentally, I was going to do this video yesterday that I'm doing now, yesterday. But what really triggered me, I decided not to do it yesterday. But then when this other thing happened to me yesterday evening, I said, maybe I should talk about it. Yeah, I went to a store. Um, I think I felt being profiled. Okay, let me explain. Now you will see me when I do my live streams, when I'm out in the city with my little doggy woggies, in the stroller. Um, well, I went into a mall. I went into the Hudson Yards Mall, and it was virtually empty. And I went on the third floor, and I had my face mask on. My face mask is transparent. You can see my whole visage, right? And I hope you can still hear me. Please press one if you can still hear me, if it's okay, the audio. Okay, I appreciate if you let me know because I'm talking to a black screen, and I sometimes feel that maybe I just want to make sure that the audio is still on. So anyway, I go to the third floor to go in a store, and as I'm approaching near it's the elevators. That's right. I think it was the elevators, but there was a security guard there, and yes, he was a black security guard. He could have been in his early 30s, and then he walks quickly up to me. He might have been maybe 6 inches away from me. And then he puts something over my he puts his hand past my face. Like he has his hand up in the air, puts it across my face. He had something, a device in his hand. A little round dark device. Across like because I had the face shield on. And he puts it across my face. Maybe he might have been maybe 5 inches from my face with his hand. So he's standing right by my shopping cart with me, and then he takes his hand and then runs it across my face, maybe 5 inches away from my face. And then I see, and I followed his hand. And then I see it's a dark object in his hand, little small object. He clenches his fist, and I said, yes, I thought you wanted to talk to me. You wanted to say so. Oh, no, no, everything's fine. And then he turns around abruptly, turns around and walks away in the opposite direction that I was going. And then he puts the device in his ear. Now, people out there, okay, please tell me what could have happened. What was that all about? What's this thing by putting something up across my face? Yeah, the mess your message retracted, Camp. Yeah, it detracted again. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. All these messages are popping up on the screen, old messages. But either way, this is what happened to me yesterday. And it was just like so abrupt, so quick. He walked so quickly. So I'm wondering whether he thought I didn't have a mask on. Yeah, I had a face shield. The face shield is part of my hat. It's a floppy hat and it has a shield. And you could clearly see it. It's so obvious. And and so I was wondering what that was all about. What why did he put the device over my face? And he's standing inches from me. And I said, "Oh, what's up? I thought you wanted to say something." And my hands are on the stroller. The dogs are well behaved. Everybody's quiet. Hardly anybody was in that shopping mall. Yeah. So, uh, I then go to the store that I wanted to go to, you know, and when I entered the store, I had the face mask on, and I've been to other stores throughout that mall, and no problem. So they initially let me come in. I was right at the entrance, and I think he greeted me. He backed away, and then all of a sudden he comes back up to me. Oh, could you wear a face mask? I said, oh, this is not a love. I was pointing to my face shield. He says, no, you need a face mask, but we have some of them right up front at the door. I said, oh, I can't really breathe with that on, the face mask, but thank you very much. And then I walked out. And I said to myself, you mean um, I can't go, it's hardly anybody in this mall. And I didn't see anybody in that store, so it's not like a whole pack of people. But isn't my face shield more protective over than that face mask? It's covering my eyes, nose, and mouth. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I said, how foolish. This is not about safety. It's not about safety. If it was about safety, you cover your eyes, nose, and mouth. But no, they want the muzzle on your face because it's going to probably come out that the face mask, that thing you put over your nose and mouth, that there are particles inside that fiber. See if those masks, go to your store where they buy, because they sell now those masks in the pack. See where it's made. See if it's made in China. Go and see if it's made in China. It's probably not made here in the US. You have all these fancy masks now. Where are they made? Did you know in New York City, like I bought a sewing machine around 2.5 months ago. And I went to the garment district in New York City to buy the sewing machine. And did you know that when you go into the garment district in those old buildings, there are no Americans working in there, but people from China. China, China, China. Yep. They don't really speak English. I had gone in. I said, "Hey, I'm looking for the sewing machines." And in broken English, they pointed another direction. Yeah. They are sweatshops. There are sweatshops. And I have a feeling that Some of the masks are made in these sweatshops here in New York City from people from China. How is that all these foreign people, and again, it's not about being anti-foreign, but how is it that Americans are being bypassed in this garment district area where you need a lot of people who need jobs. You have a lot of Americans who need jobs, but they're not hiring Americans. Shouldn't it be required, people, Americans, that you got a company that you better hire local people? And I tell you this: when you go outside of the U.S. mainland, you're gonna hear that you have to hire local people. You go to Hawaii, you better hire local people. It's put in your face. You go to the West Indies, the United States Virgin Islands, you better hire some local people. You're gonna hear it. I lived in both places, and they say it. But how come New Yorkers don't say, hey, you better hire some local New Yorkers? Because because see, we believe, see, black people in America, black Americans are deceived and brainwashed to see color, not to see reality, not to see justice, not to see, hey, it's okay to love yourself, black people, and it's okay to hire yourself. It's okay to hire your own. But instead, I'm not hearing that you're hiring your own. I told you a couple of videos ago, the black American conservative who says that he employs 100 people and all of them are Mexican. And he said that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said we're not to judge people by the color of the skin, but by their character. So all those Mexican people have character and not your people? He's hiring them because they're cheap labor. And that's what's happening in America. It's not about loving black people or white people or yellow people. It's about hiring cheap. It's about getting machines, poll machines, those machines that count your vote, get it made in another country because it's cheaper. Everything by cheap. And getting another person, another country to make it because they actually control your country. These other countries control you. Anybody who has control over your votes are the ones who actually control and run your country. So that was Cuba, Germany, and what's that? Not what's the name? It's a country in Central America. I just forgot the name. Yeah, that's what's going on. So we're being betrayed, people. You have people who don't want to hire their own. They hire somebody outside of the group, and that other group hires their own. They make more money than you now. They make more money than you collectively. But you're brainwashed. Say, oh, we have to be equal. We can't be prejudiced. Well, they're prejudiced against you. They don't hire you. Asians don't hire blacks. Hispanics don't hire black Americans, non-Hispanic. They don't hire you. But you hire them. When you're in a position to hire, you hire them. So it seems like a system that is taking place in America to make you look like, that you think you're with your own. You think they're representing you. But in actuality, they're not representing you. You go to the store. Oh, did I make? Oh, there was another incident that happened yesterday. Yes, I just mentioned. I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but I already told you about the shopping mall, and you had a black fellow and they did that thing across my face. And then I went to the corner, it's like an everything store. It sells, uh, what do you call it? You get your prescriptions filled. You can buy food, candy, toiletries. It's right in the corner, and I went in it. And I've been going here for the past 17 plus years. And I had an incident that happened to me there. And when it happened, when I got home, I called the store and let them know what happened. And they said, we're going to handle it immediately. They said, thank you for letting me know. Well, something else happened yesterday. Um, I had my shopping cart with my little doggies, and I've been going there with my shopping cart with the doggies in there for several months now. Because remember my dogs had surgery and all that, and so I put, I wanted them to get some fresh air, so I put them in there. It's easier to travel with them, and so I go in. Now, when I walked in, it was near the foyer, and then it's right at the entryway. There was a black security guard, and he is standing next to a very questionable looking person, a white fellow. He looked like he was from out of town. Uh, he was young also. The guy could have been in his 30s. He was a very, very disheveled man, very dirty. And he looked like he came out from the hospital because he had these tubes. Get this, people. Like when you go to the hospital when you're on an IV, those tubes that they put in your arm, and then they put like this tape to hold it in. Well, that's what he had on, and blood coming from his face. I said, oh my goodness. He looked horrible. And yes, I could understand. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I can see a message, Camp. Yeah, this is what he had on. He looked like someone who escaped out of a hospital because of those tubes. And and he's bleeding, so his blood, and blood is very dangerous. It's, someone, when you see blood on a scene, you have to have gloves and things like you don't want to be contaminated. Yeah, blood is serious. So I come in, I see they having some dialogue, or the guy wanted to come in all the way. And then I continue my shopping. I walked past them, and I just wanted to get one item. And I was there for maybe 3 minutes. I got one item, had it in my hand. Then I go on the line, and no one's on the line. Oh no, it might have been one other person on the line. And then this same security guard comes up to me and says, oh, how cute. Oh, your dogs look adorable. Oh, could I pet them? And I'm thinking, this is bullshit. But of course, I didn't say anything to sound rude. And then he says, I have dogs at home. I know dogs. So he bends down over to pet them. But I noticed like he was afraid to pet one of them. So people who aren't used to dogs, and I find a lot of us, a lot of people from our community afraid of dogs. Okay, and I understand that because historically, many of us some of us who are born in the South, or rural areas, a lot of dogs are loose and they chase people. So I can understand that. Okay, and so he wanted to pet the dog, but he looked like he was afraid to pet the dog. So I think, hey, you know dogs, what's the problem? You know? Well, it was his excuse to go look inside the shopping cart, make sure I'm not stealing. I was offended. But I didn't say anything because, again, he's doing it. He's so polite. Man, he let the whole world know that he wanted to go look at my dogs and pet them. If he's a security guard, you're there to secure, to do your job, not to socialize with people, want to pet their dogs. So I knew it was to see what's inside the shopping cart. Now, I've never seen this guy before, and I was offended. But I didn't say anything. And then it was my turn to buy my item. Now I had the item in my hand, and my shopping cart is packed with the dog, three little dogs, and it's see-through. You can see right in it. You don't see anything inside. You know what I'm saying? You're being stupid. Real stupid. Yeah. Overdoing it there. I hate it. I didn't like him going looking. Sure, if you think, I would have respected him more if you say, hey, I need to look inside your shopping cart. Oh, okay. I would at least respect that. You think I'm taking property? Go look right ahead. Okay? Yeah, I didn't like that. So it's something. And there were other little things that happened in New York, like I was at a park and sitting, we're not allowed on the grass with dogs. This is at the pier, and you've seen many videos of mine, me at the pier, and you're not allowed any animal on the grass. But I wanted to lie down somewhere, so I brought my little area rug, so I could put on the ground, and it did have that same shopping cart, and I had my dogs with me. It's quiet, and I was playing. I had a what's called the singing bowl. A singing bowl is a bowl. It's made out of crystal, white crystal, and you use a little knob and you scroll it along the top ridge, and it produces a beautiful sound. This woman, she's a what do you call it? A peace officer. Those people who wear all green and the big hat. Yeah, it's a state park. It's run by the state. So I have my eyes closed and I'm playing the instrument. I have my dogs, and uh, I hear someone say, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I opened my eyes. I turned to see who spoke. I said, "I'm fine." Then I said to myself, "Oh, they must think I'm a crazy black lady playing this instrument." Now, it's very well known, this type of instrument, okay? Very well known, okay? What's the problem? The problem is I'm being a woman of color. And I'm sitting on the ground in the park right by the grass, because again, we're not allowed on the grass. So I was under a tree. It was a little tree, it's cement below. And I need shade because it's a lot of sun. My little dogs need shade. And I'm doing anything out in the open, and it's an instrument. I'm not bothering anyone. No one was sitting next to me. And I explained what I was doing because I know that she doesn't know what I'm doing. And I wanted to educate this black woman. She could have been in her 40s. So I lift up the bowl. I said, "Oh, this is an instrument. And when you scroll it, it makes music." Oh, I was just saying hello. I was just saying hello. Uh, no, you weren't just saying hello. You're there as a peace officer. You are instructed to investigate things, not to make friends with people in the park. And then I watched this lady go over to other people. This one guy, he had a bicycle. And she was very, very, on him. She wasn't about making friends. And that really clinched to me that this person thought I was doing something. She was not there at the park to socialize. She's there as a peace officer. She looked like a state policeman. That big green hat that they wear, a green outfit. Yeah, first and only time I've ever seen her. And I didn't like it. I didn't like how I felt because here I wanted to educate her. And I was very polite. So she know in the future someone with a bowl like this. So what if I wasn't well? See that? When a black person goes and meditates, oh, you're doing something bad. Oh, you got a shopping cart. Oh, you one of those type of people. That's what happened. Yeah, I'm the black lady with a shopping cart and little dog. And oh, she got that white device in her hand. What's she doing with that thing? So I'm a weirdo, a freak, someone who's possibly dangerous. But you have white people go there. They can bring dogs on the grass. There are people doing all types, and there are cameras all over the place. A camera. See, there was no peace officer there when I arrived. And it was soon after I arrived. That's just it. I was there. It was just soon after I arrived. Did this person come? Why did they come? Hey, investigate what that black woman is doing out there with the shopping cart. She got a met. Oh, those crazy black people. Let's get one of this black woman to investigate. Oh, how dare that lady? What's that freak doing? That's what I think would happen. And so when she sees that there's nothing wrong and I was to educate her what I was doing, she gets all indignant. Oh, I just was saying hello. No, you weren't just saying hello. Are you okay? Are you okay? Am I doing something that's not okay? See, that's what's happening. You have these black security people in New York City who is being used to police you, black people, to question what you're doing. You're just being you. You're quiet. I'm clean. I had clean clothes. I'm not bleeding like that white dude was. I kid you not, people. To go into certain places, and then you're engaged with these new black security people, consider you like an enemy of the state. You are not there to protect us. You're there. You're being used to to police against us. But you allow all these illegal aliens. You allow people to take control of your poll stations and steal your vote. See that? You're more preoccupied with an undesirable looking black lady with her dogs praying or meditating. We better investigate this, BITCH. Okay? That's what's happening. So you don't question the influx of these people from communist countries here in New York. You allow them in the universities, the Ivy League universities here in New York City, and the city universities in New York City. All these people from questionable countries. You also employ them in high jobs that pay a lot of money. You allow them to work in private corporations. You allow them to socialize. Yeah, I used to work in private sector. I worked in many occupations, and I used to work in the finance district. And they don't have black people working together. They may have black females, maybe two or three together, maximum. They don't work in the same desk, though. They haven't spread out, and especially the black male. He's virtually extinct in private sector, especially in the finance district where I used to work. Yeah, I used to work up there. Yeah, very respectable job. I got paid relatively good money. Excellent, excellent work environment. But they made sure they didn't have black men work together. Yep. Only two black men, one on my floor and one on the other floor. And that's it. Why is that? So you let all these. Oh, so what I was getting with that job, private sector job in the finance district, they had an area on the floor where all these people from India, or that type looking people, and you know what they were doing? They were playing golf in the where they are at the desk. Yeah, they look like the yuppies. They look really good, actually. They were beautiful business suits. They were young guys. They were like in their mid-20s, early 30s. And they were playing golf, a whole pack of them. When I say a pack, about maybe eight of them, eight, nine. Yeah, a whole group. They're all brown skin. They're all like my color. How come they weren't stopped? Why were they allowed to play golf? You think black people could go there in a pack and play golf? So what I'm saying is that it's you're being policed here if you're a black person, but people from all over the world could come play golf at the job rather than doing their job. Um, they can go into different colleges and universities and get jobs in very, you know, sensitive areas. But they're policing you. They're policing you if you're just sitting down outside with your little doggy woggies and you're playing an instrument. The singing bowl, it's called. It's very peaceful, and they don't trust you. Okay, so they're there to because they don't trust you, and so you're being hired to go against your own, and then let's say you married somebody, like the governor's. I'm sorry, keep saying governor. I meant to say maid, like the mayor's wife. She ain't saying anything. She's not screening, hey, people are voting who shouldn't be voting. White buses, vans from New Jersey are being driven into New York City and working in near the World Trade Center where you have all the so-called terrorist attack. See that? Shouldn't you be focused on that? These people from other countries being busted in they're white buses, they bust them in, the illegals. Yeah, I got to do this quick. My battery's going low. Yeah, so all these things are happening to me. So what's this all mean? So I realized that America is not for me. It's like I'm being used, but at the same time being feared, and we're not working as a group anymore. So I asked myself, are we still family? All these things that happen at the going to the store, looking at like I'm a criminal. And there was another incident that happened at a different mall. And the thing with the hand, they put something over their something is some device they have in their hand, and they go forward in front of their face, directing it at me. So I was wondering, what is this? Is this a camera that these security guards in the shopping malls have? Is it some device to snap your picture? Okay, what is this? I don't like it. I'm not a criminal. I'm an honest individual. I do my job. I'm respectable. I follow the rules. So why am I being treated like this? Why are they using other black people to do this to me? Why are black people not protecting their own? So I start to ask myself, are we really family? Should I then just discard this video, not this channel on what I talk about? Well, everything that I've been talking about for the past year was about, I don't want immigrants in America. Okay. Yeah. I start to wonder, what's going on? Why am I being treated this way? And are we still family, people? You're being bought. You're being bought. The people that's supposed to represent you are telling you, yeah, let me get my charger. I'm sorry. Yeah, this thing, my phone is going to go off. Yeah, the battery just made that thing that is low energy. I don't want it to shut off on me until I formally close this video. Just take a second, people. Just take a second. Let me reach here. Boy, brother, let me just take a second. Okay. Oh, sorry. So I have to pull out the earplug. It might be an interference for a moment. Okay, could you hear me now? I hope you guys could. I have to put the plug in. Yeah. Okay. So I had to put the plug in. So what is happening now? You have voting. You have immigration. And again, they're using black people. Great, great. I'm glad you can hear me. Thank you for responding. Okay, so uh, blacks are being fooled to think, let's get all these minorities in there because we are all one people, and um, let's work together. But actually, they're being brought into the country so that they could usurp your position so you don't get political power, and that during election time, the illegals are being bussed in to different cities to steal votes, to make reality change, who like this election. People were being bussed in. That's what was happening. And that's why and they're using Democrats to do it. They say, "Oh, you're just being prejudiced. You don't like minorities. We don't like minorities. I mean, you don't like minorities, and you don't you just being prejudiced. You're being a bigot, and that's why they attack Trump. See, Trump is from New York City, and he lived not too far from where I lived. Yes, Trump has many homes, but he was in New York. Wow, he's on the screen right now, Trump, as he's going down the escalator. Oh, wow. What a coincidence. Yeah, too bad you can't see it. Yeah, my screen froze, people. My screen froze, so you can't see what I'm looking at. But yeah, see that? It's not about him hating immigrants or us hating immigrants. They're being brought in so that they can steal votes. so that they can usurp your vote. And what was the other thing? Oh, yeah, it's all a game. And they're using black people to say, oh, you know, in the past, oh, we something about an ID. Oh, not everybody could afford an ID. Sure, they can. They can afford that bling bling that they have on. They can afford the drugs that they do. They can afford the hair weaves and the nails. They can afford an ID. See that? So they use black people as a front. And yes, in the past, those things were an issue, but it's not an issue now. They're using black people as an excuse, or the race riots as an excuse. And it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about corruption. It's about corruption. And I see that that the system is made exactly like what it is. Ghettos or urban, we call it inner cities, are created because, see, they're going to use that card. They're going to use that card and say, oh, we shouldn't have to present an ID to vote. Oh, you're trying to discriminate. Oh, you're being prejudiced. You know what else with I remember with Trump. Um, Remember there was a scandal about the border, I think in like around Texas, around there, and the borders, and they said uh, detention centers, and they separated the children from the parent. And they said, oh, how dare he do that? And so they had, Time magazine had a cover of a little child crying and Trump standing there. But in actuality, they had cropped out the picture of the little girl from the mother. In the whole picture, well, of course, Trump was cropped into that fake picture, but the actual photo of the little girl, the mother was standing right there. The girl, the little, little children cry. But the girl could have been 2, 3 years old, standing by the mother's side. But they cropped out that picture, excluded the mother, and make it look like a little girl's abandoned. She was not abandoned. See, this is false news. But the significance why I bring out that story regarding the so-called detention centers. For one thing, the detention centers was built during the Obama um, administration. It was not built during the Trump administration. It was built during the Obama administration. And what Trump was trying to do, there's what they call human trafficking. Human trafficking is happening across that border, and he knows that. And probably Trump knows in the future these human trafficked people will be influencing the vote, right? You bring them in, you funnel them out into major cities, because now they have these immigrants in the major cities competing for jobs for American black people, pushing us out of our economic power, usurping it and taking it, and then they take that money home to their countries, foreign countries. But so the little girl, well, there were detentions. There are places where where you have people staying in these detention centers. What they were doing, as I said, human trafficking. The adults with these people were not their children. They were using the children as an excuse to enter the country, because they feel, okay, if I bring a little kid, oh, they're not going to turn us away. They're human trafficking. They're human trafficking. That's what was happening. And so Trump knows this. He's not stupid. And so when he said no, or to limit it, because they're coming in like a flood. Or remember the caravan. Remember early in the year, maybe it was last year, the caravan that they had. Remember that? In the thousands. These people, I doubt, walked 2,000 miles. Oh, please. They dressed better than I did. And they had cell phones too. They looked refreshed. These people are being bussed in. They came in on buses. They didn't walk it. They weren't refugees. These are people who were hired by, some suggest, Soros, George Soros. He was funding it so he could supplant America. That's what it looked like. So all those people, and they have their children / human trafficking, because they enslave children. Did you know that there's a sex market for children? They have people who have sex with children. They have people who abuse sex with women, adult women. And they're in the sex trade. And when it's discovered that those kids don't belong to that adult, they're separated. When it's questionable, and you should question, right? You should question who's coming in. Not anybody who has kids, that it may not even be theirs. Human trafficking. And they bring them in, and they're sending them, where they're going to live, right? Where they're going to live. They got to live somewhere because they're being sponsored by somebody. They're being sponsored by somebody. And then in New York again, they were giving out these IDs that look very much like a driver's license. Interesting, they make it look like a driver's license. And I did a video regarding that too. They have these IDs to make it easier for illegals to obtain other documentations to falsify their legal status. And they're in Democrat areas. And they know that they have, in general, a lot of children. And so they're going to be in the school system, taking control. There's no learning that's really going to take place. They can't speak the language, no communication. Right? And it's interfering with the education of the legal people that I hear. And they do this, that's the trick that they use. They're using black people to use the race card to defend these illegal aliens that don't hire you. They don't hire you. You don't see them on the street giving money to the black people on the street, but we got to give them money? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And you sucker for it every time. You sucker for it every freaking time. So it's like, wow, what am I left with? My country is trying to be taken over. You have black people in power. I used to think we didn't have anybody in political office. And Obama came and went. Obama never really spoke out once he got out of office regarding all these things that happened to black men and black women. You didn't hear anything about him. He's not what you call, he was an organizer, what do you call it, a social organizer? No, community organizer. What did he organize? That guy's a communist. He is a communist. And that's why he was put in office. And I feel badly because I voted for him the first time. He came and went. You think someone with his expertise, because he was the president of the United States, do you think he's helping us? He's not doing a damn thing. Shame on him. And shame on his family. No, shame on him. Him and his wife. Yeah. Yeah, I apologize. I shouldn't have said the family. Shame on him and his wife. His kids are innocent. His kids are innocent. I apologize for that. But yeah, yeah, he is the problem. Um, so all these leaders, and then now you having these security guards and all this, and they're policing me. I'm an American citizen. I'm here lawfully. I've served in the U.S. military. I am not no illegal alien. I've been in this neighborhood for over 17 years. They know who I am. They know who I am. They know who I am. So what's the deal? Well, we get all these new people now doing security work. They get any riffraff to do security work. And I used to do security work too. Briefly, just for no more than 2 years. Yeah. You got a lot of questionable minded people who do security now. Yeah. And they bring in they're not the most intelligent people. They make the test real easy so you can just get in. This is where they want black people to do. They want black people to go be a security guard or to go into the military or to go into prison. While all these newer people are getting jobs as scientists, doctors, lawyers, accountants, bankers, but not you. This is by design. This is by design. We're just as intelligent as anybody else out there, but it's designed to make you still feel like a criminal and using black people to arrest you. But do nothing about those illegals that hang out on the corner in the garment district waiting, looking for work. Packs of them. The females stand on one side of this, one side, and the males stand on the other, and they just stand there and wait. That's on, I think, 39th Street or 40th Street on 9th Avenue. Yeah, I think it's 9th Avenue. 9th or 8th Avenue. Yeah, I think it's 9th Avenue. Yeah. They stand out like a sore thumb. Are the security guards going after them? Are the police going after them? Are the police observing that white van that comes in from Jersey that bring in illegals? Are they? But they're questioning an American black woman who's at a park enjoying herself quietly, sitting down on the ground on a little area rug, playing what they call the singing bowl. But they get people like to investigate that. Or in a shopping mall, big shopping mall, you can see through the shopping cart, so you see nothing's in there. You see little dogs. I have a face shield on, and they look like they're taking pictures or something. Something they both. It just done it both times. They have something in their hand, and they go downward, looking at me when they do it, and then walking away. The black dude was more. The first one it did was a Hispanic-looking female, short, and then this one from yesterday was a black male, about the same height as me, but he was even more closer. He was just inches away from my shopping cart where I was standing. The woman at least was about 8 feet away. Okay, something's going on. Something's going on. Wow, I'm really sad. So, are we still family? And should I care anymore? Should I, because I'm really trying to emphasize how I want blacks to be elevated spiritually, financially, everything, and trying to encourage us to take care of our health, take care of our families, take care of your life. I feel, wow, I feel I'm being betrayed. Here we have black people in top positions. I didn't realize it until this election, and they're coming out of the woodworks when I watch the news over the internet and see all these key black figures, Democrats, and they're exploiting us. They're not protecting us. They're allowing all these people from other countries to operate our voting machines from Cuba, from Venezuela, yeah, it was Venezuela, and Germany, a former Nazi country. Wow. And these machines could be what do you call it, remotely viewed, tabulated, and at what do you call it, at real, what they call real time. So as the people are voting, they're seeing the numbers. They know the outcome before you, American. They know the outcome before you know. And these are foreigners. How dare they do that? How dare they usurp your right as an American citizen, these foreigners, foreign countries, to tap into our computers. In fact, it's not even built in this country. That's why Trump is saying America first. America first. See, he probably sensed and knew something was going to happen, but he didn't have the proof. That's what he means by America first, because these machines are made by other people, and it's for their we call it. They want to impose who they think should win upon you, the American citizen. And you have these black people are being used as like watchdogs, using the race card. And when they're in position to protect black interests, they fail to do it. And instead, they let those rioters out there destroying stores, destroying lives of people, all these wicked things. It's wickedness happening in America, and using black people as watchdogs to predate on their very own and to protect the interests of communist China party, the Chinese Communist Party, the Chinese Communist Party. You are supporting them. You are supporting them. Biden is supporting them. And once they come into power, full power in America, they're going to destroy you. They're going to destroy all of us. Why do you think they have us with the mask? Who else wears masks all the time? China. And they're getting us used to wearing the mask because China wears masks. They're allowing Chinese Communist Party people in our top universities in New York City. And somehow they're able to afford their high rent in these new luxury buildings near where I live, being catered to. In some of those buildings, they have a private bus to bus them from all the way from the water, from the west side, and bring them over to the subway. Because it'll take maybe 20, 30 minutes to walk across town. They don't have to walk. They have the bus for them to just bring them over. See, they're being catered to, but you are not being catered to. Americans aren't being catered to. Mainstream black America, even now, the whites have moved out. The rich whites, the whites, the businessmen, they left. So you get the what I call the alternative lifestyle people remaining. It's really bad. And I'm very sad about this. I'm very sad about this. It's pathetic. I hope you guys could hear me. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm very sad. Is this country, are we still family, black people? Should I just forget about you and forget about the community and just be a nature girl? Just go out with my dogs in nature and all videos from now on. I won't talk a damn thing about the public, about our community. I live right smack in the heart of the city. I'm surrounded by homeless people, starving people, drug addicts. Just walk over like ghosts. And then I see all these newcomers dressed nicely, respected when they go shopping. You think those security guards go up to those Chinese Communist Party college students? Do they use that device that's in their hand over their face and take a picture? Or whatever what they're doing? Do they? Do they take a picture of that white truck from New Jersey with illegal aliens and drop them off in the city to work in the retail stores downtown? What is it? Well, how about in the supermarkets in New York City? Who works in the supermarkets? Not people that look like me. For quite a while now. They don't think black people need jobs in those supermarkets. That's why I feel like, hey, you're stupid. You're being real stupid. Yes, it is cheap labor. Yes, it's cheap labor, but they're being used strategically. They don't love these people. They love what they can do to them. They're going to use them like a tool, and once that tool is done, they're going to throw it out. Our country is under siege, and they are being used strategically to usurp, to displace you, to make you feel like you're the dirty bad person because you got a face shield on, even though it's more secure. It covers your eyes, nose, and mouth. Isn't it about these spittle particles when you talk? That is the issue. That's what they said. How it's caught. It's caught by when someone's talking in your face and it goes in your eye, your nose, and mouth. Right? No, because it's not about that. It's about control. They know they probably have something in the masks, and it's that blue one that they push, that blue mask. I bet that thing has particles in it, has something funky in it. You inhale it. I'm wondering whether those blue masks in particular have those nanoparticles, traces that go in your blood system, goes in your brain, and it can maybe monitor what you're doing. Nanoparticles. Look and see where those masks are made. Why should you care whether you have a mask or even a bandana? They had some people, they put a bandana on. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't come in here without that mask. I said, but you got the bandana. Oh, I'm sorry. And that was Apple. Apple require you to wear a mask. Okay, even though you had a bandana on, right? You don't know what's in those masks. And you have thousands of people wearing them. Why that mask? Why that one? It might be something in the mask. Where are those masks made? Yeah, the sleeping giant. Check and see who the sleeping giant is in the room, and see if the sleeping giant is the same one that made those blue masks that are being pushed in New York City. They even have what they call the mask ambassadors. The mask ambassadors that came out during the summer. The young, people, and they have the mask, and they walk, and they have a little vest on that says they're a mask ambassador, and they hand out free masks. Be careful anyone giving you a free product. Anything free that's being handed out, you better be wary of. It might be free, but it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you health. I have a feeling that down the road in the near future, those masks is going to create a new type of illness in your body. And it's going to be a surge of sickness. And you're going to say, what happened? Well, I tell you what happened. It's those masks. Those masks are going to create disease in you, not prevent it. And it's going to be a deluge of sickness. And then they're going to use that as an excuse to put you in a detention center. They're going to use the sickness, as an excuse to force you into detention centers. I also watched a movie yesterday, not a movie, a documentary about what happened in Australia um, with this CV-19. Okay, and it's happened in a hotel. You had people in Australia. They were coming back from vacation during the initial um, alarm of everything. And they said, well, anyone coming back into our country, keep them in detention for 2 weeks. So they got a hotel, and I gather with it, many of the people died. It was a total screw up. I think it was like a dress rehearsal. This was a dress rehearsal of what they really wanted to on a large scale to get them, put them there. They had these subcontractors who were security to mine this hotel. And then now everybody's saying, oh, I didn't authorize it. Oh, I didn't. I don't know who did that. Who authorized this? Now they're all playing stupid. And this was in Australia. 60 Minutes Australia did the show. So you just type in online, the pandemic in uh, the hotel in Australia, something like that. Yeah, I just found it by chance. This is what they want to do. This is what they want to do. They're creating disease. Everything they do, it's in preparation for the next step. Just like those urgent care health centers in Manhattan. They're all over Manhattan. It came out maybe 2.5 years ago. That's when I started noticing them. I said, wow, why do we have these uh, urgent care health centers and clinics? You got major hospitals all over the place. Why do you need these little, look like privately owned urgent care centers? And you could just walk off the street and go in and see a doctor. Well, They knew they were going to implement this pandemic. They knew it. They planned it. Not they knew it, they planned it. I had people up along my block just waiting on a long line. And I asked one time, I said, hey, how come you're standing out here? Oh, I'm being tested for the virus. And they look like healthy people. They're young people. Young, healthy looking people. Not the elderly. In fact, the young have a stronger system to combat a cold or flu symptom. It's the very elderly that have the problem. Now I can see the very elderly on that line, but no, these are young ass people, people in their 20s and 30s, being checked for a virus. And they're standing on a long waiting line with a mask on. I see people with a mask on while they're bicycling. Stupid, huh? New York is really turning stupid. Yeah, New Yorkers are really getting fearful. See, the Democrats believe garbage. We're gullible. We're becoming gullible. I shouldn't say we because I'm not a Democrat. But see, you're not using reason. You're using fear. You're using fear. Use common sense. Use common sense. It's like what's that? You strain out a gnat, but you swallow a camel. You're swallowing a gnat, but you're swallowing you're straining out a gnat, but you're swallowing a camel. That's what's happening. So all these things, these CCP students coming by, occupying the colleges so they could influence. They're moving into these high rise, so they're buying out everything. They're buying out everything, but they're quiet. But you're preoccupied looking at the loudmouth black girl or the bad boy hip hopper guy with his pants hanging down. See, these are all distractants, people. These are distractants, and you fall for it. You're policing me. You should be policing those illegals. You should be policing who has control over the voting machines. They're telling you your vote doesn't matter, that we decide who runs for office, who gets into office. So why should we even vote anymore? When these machines are made in other countries, it turns out, and being tabulated by other countries, and the data being stored by another country. Three countries in particular: Cuba, Germany, and Venezuela. My mouth dropped. My mouth dropped. Wow. Here you got a man who's running for office of Joe Biden, and his son was working on behalf of Communist China. Communist China party getting money by China and then taking that money and giving it to Joe Biden. Isn't that a conflict of interest? Is that not illegal or extremely unethical? And you want him to run your country? He's being bought out. He's bought by China. He is bought by China, and they're making China. They're going to make China. China is going to own the U.S. That's why they don't, look on the statistics. Who makes the most money in this country? Who? If black people are so spooky, well, black people in U.S. as a group is on the bottom. Then Hispanics are the next highest. And then white people's the next highest. Who's the highest now? Who's on top now? Asians. So how come you don't hear about them and them voting? Why are they not being um, pandering? Why aren't they being pandered to? Because there's a sleeping giant. They're the richest in this country and the healthiest. But yet everybody's preoccupied with black folk and trying to keep us down. But in the process of trying to keep us down, you are bringing in people from communist China into America. They're real quiet. They don't say anything. You allow them any type of job. You say, oh, they're really smart people. Yeah, you have over 1 billion people. You could bring in 1%, even 1% of that population, of your best students to come in and take over. No, and this is not an anti Chinese thing. This is about common sense and about motive. See that America likes to use the race card. And that's how Obama got into office. Oh, you're just being prejudiced. Oh, you're just being prejudiced. No, he was about communism. His background is very questionable where he's actually from. He's questionable if you use common sense. Questionable. And then he came and he went. Boom. They put Obama in there because they knew they could use the race card. Get them now. Funny, funny. Yeah, that's what's happening. That is what's happening. They put Obama in office because he probably had ties to these other communist countries, China. They covered for him. And they wanted certain policies done. They couldn't get the policy done under a regular white person. So you put in a black person in there, a so-called black person. Who knows whether that's actually his mother? They can get anybody in there. Oh, this is my kid. Oh, but I had a biracial union. Oh, he died when he was young. The father. It's all cover up. Who knows who he really belongs to and where he really was born? But they got him. So then now, if you question anything, oh, you're prejudiced. Oh, no, it's not about that. In hindsight, what do you see? Use your eyes, people. Use your eyes. It was a trap to get us to vote for him so he can implement things like the same-sex marriage, right? So he made us think that he was about the Black American family, and those kids may not even be his. Remember what happened to Joan Rivers? She outed him, and why she did that, I don't know why. She died within that month, mysteriously. See, people of that community, they all gossip and they all talk. Okay? They all talk about things like that. So, you just stay real quiet. Everybody knows what everybody's into. You just stay quiet, whatever. I think Joan Rivers was not just making a tacky joke. She knew what she was talking about. Yeah. And you know what? In the 1950s, with the civil rights, yeah, I'm going to just say this. I thought I was going to just turn off the phone just a moment ago, but no, let me talk a little more. In the 1950s, um, you had that communist scare movement in Hollywood, and it's really amazing that I forget the name of the he's a writer, Baldwin. His last name is Baldwin, a black fellow, black American fellow, but he was a gay man. Again, if you're homosexual, whatever, that's your business. What you like sexually and who you want to sex with is your business. Whether you're straight or curly, that's your business, okay? But I'm just giving information, facts in history. So they infiltrated the black community. Again, even back then. Okay, thank you, Camp. Thank you. Yes, James Baldwin. Thank you for giving me that info. Yes, James Baldwin. Uh, he's I learned of James Baldwin in college. Uh, my last years in college. Oh, we had to read his book, and I didn't know about his background until later. See, New York City is a gay city, gay friendly city, and promote gay agenda in the colleges. And so that's why we read his book. We can't read books by straight black men. See again, they're brainwashing people to only accept a certain type of black man, a black gay man. They don't want a black straight man because they don't want power. They want someone that would be a puppet. They don't want any Malcolm X. They want a gay boy who be going on the down low. Because if you watch it, watch these programs, those people in office, they all had these weird sexual proclivities. Yes, when you hear about there's a sex trade that goes into the D.C. to service the politicians in D.C. Oh yes, it's a big one. And so they seem to just get these black dudes who are gay and they infiltrate them in the black community. And they even infiltrated Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was an older guy and he was presented to King to persuade him how he should run the party. I mean, the civil rights movement. And he stressed to King not to do any violence. Look at that. So you have an older black man. See, they used the old. See, back then they used an older black person, and King was only 27 at the time. This guy could have been in his 50s or 60s, but he was a gay man, and he worked for the government. That was the point. Not only was he a gay man, he worked for the government, the agency, and he was being instructed what to tell King. I'm sure if he instructed, also gave the agency information about King. So that's what I mean. We're being infiltrated. And we're getting these people from the gay community that, for whatever reason, I guess sex is a drug for them. And when you're an addict, you're willing to do anything and even sell out your community. Watch all these black leaders. A lot of them are in that alternative lifestyle. Again, that's your business if you belong to that lifestyle. But be honest about it. Be honest about it. If you're in that lifestyle, how could you really be about the black family? You're not going to have a family in that lifestyle. So these people are being used to target black leaders, to maybe even compromise them if they can sexually and discredit them. But now it's like a cool thing to be of that lifestyle. But in the 1950s, it wasn't. So that's what I mean. It's compromise. Certain behaviors compromise the black community or any community because they have an agenda. And it seemed like the communism and homosexual agenda is all blended in. It's all blended, especially in New York City. They blend the two in. Look at those ladies at the rallies. What are they? What are they? Same thing. Most likely the same thing. Same type of mentality. Okay? So you have the women acting like men and the men acting like women. That's New York City. It's total confusion. It's brainwashing. It's used, that type of brainwashing and confusion is to confuse and destabilize you, the black community. And so now even the security guards, they're acting like I'm some criminal. That something is wrong, that I should be um, surveillanced. Oh, I'm sitting on the ground. Oh, I must be doing something weird. But you got all those illegals being bussed into the country. You have illegals that are um, have these machines, voting machines that are being rigged. And you stand for this, people? All these black politicians in office who should be there to protect your community and your votes, and they're not doing it. Who's the one that's doing the counting? Black people. You're digging your own grave. You are digging, I hope you guys can hear me. You are digging your own grave. Wow. So I start thinking, man, should I stay here? Should I stay here? I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. I was groped also over the summer and then told, oh well, when I finally got the police to come, oh well, they're probably going to release him because he's crazy because of COVID. Because of COVID, and if he really is crazy, they're just going to let him back on the street. But it's your choice how you want us to handle it. That's what I was told. That's what I was told. Wow. Wow. I'm not safe. And I know there was something recently, someone um, was arrested, and it was something with his mind, oh, did they let him out? I don't know. I don't remember now. But it's really questionable. So they're going to pick and choose who they keep in the psych ward and who they take out. But if it's to harass black people and the general public, they put them back on the street. But if it's an important person, they might keep them. So it's two systems going on. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm very, very sad about all this. I love my country. I love my country. This is my country. This is your country, U.S. citizens. It doesn't matter who, you vote for who you want to vote for. That's your business. But what is our business is that integrity in the voting system be adhered, regardless of what the race or politics of the person. We will have that right to vote. And we have the right that, we shouldn't have foreign entities control the ballots. Cuba, Venezuela, and Germany have control over our voting machines, and they can tap into our voting machines remotely, and they know the outcome before you, American citizen. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So here, I sit here in my room in the dark, have my monitor on before me, and now my monitor, on the phone that I'm recording on, is turned the screen black. Um, I sit here today on Wednesday and really wondering, are you really my family? And should I care? Should I care about you? You're showing you don't love or care for me, even though I love you from my heart. I truly love you. I've said something like this before. I don't want to talk about the community anymore. And I stopped for a couple of months and I came right back on strong because I love you guys. I love what happens to all of us. Uh, Someone shared some information, shared something very important to me. I mean, not to me, it was in a video I was watching, a young woman. And she was a white female, young white female in her 20s. And she said something very profound. She used to be into ayahuasca, a plant medicine, and she announced to her viewers that she no longer wants to discuss the topic of psychedelic drugs anymore, and that she was quoting this man, and I have to paraphrase. Um, when you get the message, hang up. And is it working for me? Is this working for me? So she said that, referring to, hey, I did ayahuasca, she's saying, and is this plant medicine working for me? Do I need it anymore? Did I get the message out of it? And if you got the message, it's time to move on. So with me, did you get the message? Did I get the message? Did I get what I needed to get out of it? Is it working for me? Is what I discuss about the events that happens in Black America, is it working for me? The answer is no. The answer is no, people. You're not working for me. You're trying to harm me. Um, and it's a waste of my time. That is reality. I don't want that to be the reality. So are we still family? I give you that question to answer for yourself. Is it working for me? Did I get the message? And if I got the message, hang up. Yeah. Yeah, I got to start doing things. I got to start doing things for me. I mean, it's always me and others, but things are going to get really tough here in New York City. I'm stuck here, and I got to think how I'm going to protect myself because I see now I can't even go out in a shopping mall without these security people. It looks like they're taking my picture, doing something. Yeah, I gotta ask a security person if they have a device that something to put over my face. They do it, have something in their hand and they go vertically down along the face. I don't know what that is. And again, I was in security, and I've never seen this behavior before. Yeah, it's not. Maybe I outgrew this city. I loved it. I mean, it's a great place to shop. But now, shopping, I mean, my little doggies are my family. They're my little furry friends. I love my little dogs. And these dogs, they don't deserve to be cooped up in a house or apartment all day. I want them to get air with me. Is New York, did I outgrow this system? Did I outgrow New York City? I alone could really answer that. I mean, I love my place, um, but things are changing now, and some of the people get aggressive if you don't have a mask on out in the street, even if I'm not near anybody. They lost their minds, New Yorkers. They lost their mind. Black people here especially lost their mind with the drugs. They're importing whites, poor whites, into New York City. Who knows where they're from? I told you about the guy earlier in this live stream that was bleeding. He had these tubes in his arm, like when you go from the hospital. Yeah, you're smart. Yeah, that's right. Don't wear the mask. It'd be interesting, Camp. So when you go to a shopping, yeah, exactly. It is fake. It's all a fakery. It's all a fakery. So, but like if you have to go to the supermarket, do you wear a mask then? Yeah, I addressed that question to Camp. Camp, do you when you go to the supermarket or store, do you wear a mask then? Let me know. I'm curious. Yes or no? Yeah, it's a takeover. It's a takeover here. Oh, really? Wow. I'm just getting your answer now. You said no. You don't wear a mask in the store? How do you manage? Because they'll throw you out. Here in New York City, you have to wear a mask or face covering in the shopping, the food store. Wow. I shop Amazon though. Okay. 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 Good for you. Good for you. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do that. Yeah, foolishness. Foolishness, these people here. Yeah, I have to ask myself, should I mean, I I'm about life. I want to enjoy all people, all races, and I was getting distracted with the race card in New York and all the melee that has been happening for the past few years. It'll stress out of anybody. But I'm seeing through the hype that these things that you see are distractants. It's not about black people, it's about using these things as a distractant to usher in policies. Yeah. I shop with the Muslims in news. Okay, they don't say a word to me. I get when I came in and get and leave. Okay. Oh, neat. Wow. Wow. Good for you. Good for you. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it is fake. It's a whole fakery with the virus. You're sick, stay at home, eat your chicken soup, right? That's what you did in the past. Drink some hot tea with lemon, right? And chill out. And when you feel better, you go to work or whatever. Yeah, it's about China, communist China coming in and making us like China. They're making us like China. You have people like Biden who sold out America. He's been in government for 47 years. He should just retire. But it's there for a reason. I think he's compromised, and definitely his family's compromised with the incest. Remember, they found the daughter's diary? Incest. Um, his son giving him 10% of the money from communist China. He plagiarized his paper. And what was that? He lied about his stance on his graduating class. He said he was top of his class when he was actually the bottom of his class. And it was something else that was very unethical that he lied about. This man's a liar. He's a liar. He's proved like, he had run for office before and he had to drop out because he got found out about his past. So why? Now his life doesn't matter now? You find people who work with dishonest people because he won under Obama for vice president. So Obama didn't know about his background. See that they get all these illicit, questionable people under black people because see, black America has their handlers. We have foreign people, we have questionable people, and blacks are being handled. We like dogs, and we have our handler. Obama was handled. He was not his own man, and that's why they don't like Trump. Trump, regardless how controversial his behavior is, he's his own man, and he doesn't have a handler to the same extent as Biden. Yeah. So I'm really questioning how, how I should really label myself. I think just be neutral. I'm no race. I'm just me. I'm just me. And I want to live my life in peace. Um, I got to think of it. I don't want to go to a shopping mall and be someone putting something over my face. This thing over my, he put his hand by my face. What kind of crap is that? Horrible, horrible, horrible. You really have to wonder what would you do? People out there, yeah. Those of you who are still on, type in what you would do if you were me. Will you just be a neutral soul? Or are you still my friend community? Or should I just be a lone individual? Let me know. And those of you, after this video uploads on YouTube, when you're able to write in the comment section, type in below and let me know what you think I should do. I'm very sad, and I think this is a wake-up call. This is a wake-up call for all of us. You have people that look like you, maybe even talk like you, dress like you, but they don't represent you. And they're placed there because they look like you, but they don't have your agenda. They have another agenda at mind, and it's an alien agenda. Yes, it's an alien agenda. So I think I said enough. I said enough. Yeah, I'm just go with your gut feeling on whatever it is. Okay. Thank you, Camp. Yeah, I just want to be me. I always feel like I gotta make other people happy. I gotta do for everybody, and I'm not protected. I'm not loved, and I said, I gotta start thinking. I gotta do for me. I love people. I care about the hurting, but now I feel they're trying to hurt me through their behaviors. When you show someone that you don't trust them, that's hurting that person indirectly. It's hurting me. It's saying I don't trust you and I don't like you. Well, but you let all these illegals, all these questionable uh, people here, you let these practices go on, and these equipment that's made in another country, monitored in another country, to govern me. Shame on you for doing that. Wow. So I got off what was on my chest, and Yeah, pray for me. Uh, wish me well, and I mean, yes, I'm gonna be doing my videos. I'm gonna still do my videos, but I don't know. Maybe I gotta I don't know. I gotta really evaluate all this. I gotta evaluate this. I gotta really go down deep. How I wanna navigate living here. I don't want to be a prisoner in my own home. I don't want to be a prisoner. So I thank you, people, my loyal viewers. I appreciate you. I appreciate your feedback as usual. Um, I want you well also. I want you to be safe. I want you're healthy and all that. I want you secured. Yeah. These are challenging times, but we are the winner. Integrity is the name of the game. When you don't walk in integrity, you're a piece of shit. Walk in integrity. No one is perfect, but walk in integrity. Walk with dignity, and you are a successful person for doing so. Okay? Yeah. So you want to be successful? Be a person of integrity. And when you can't expose the truth, expose it. Use wisdom in the process. Okay? But conduct your life in a goodly manner. That is essential in this human walk. Okay? I thank you all. I thank you all. And those of you who want to uh, support me on this channel, you can PayPal me. And to do so, on my channel, Spirit Journey, on the right side of the banner on top is my PayPal me link. Just click on that link and follow the prompt. Any amount would be greatly appreciated. I thank you in advance for any contributions you could give. Peace, love, and joy, and harmony and health to the viewer of this live stream. Okay? Take care and enjoy your day. Thank you.